Today I thought I'd close off 2025 with a list of the top 10 biggest religious events of this year. And we are about to range from the terrifying, the tragic, the astounding, and the bizarre. Here's the list. Number 10, the passing of Mormon President Russell M. Nelson and the inauguration of Dallin H. Oaks as his successor. This, of course, happened on October 14th, 2025. The death and inauguration didn't happen on the same day, but the inauguration did happen that day. This marks a change in Mormon leadership, and supposedly, reportedly so, the new president claims that church funding will be cut on new temples, and thus limiting the number of temple constructions around the world.
President Russell M. Nelson had announced the construction of 200 new temples. It is appropriate that we slow down the announcement of new temples.
Then again, Mormon leadership has been known to say one thing and then contradict themselves the very next day or even in the same speech. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Number 9 was the shooting at the Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. This happened on September 28th. The suspect carried possible anti-Mormon sentiment or anti-religious sentiment. This motivated him to act in a terrorist fashion. The death toll of this incident includes 5, 2 by smoke inhalation and 3 by gunfire, including the perpetrator. 8 were also injured. 3 by smoke inhalation and 5 by gunfire. Number 8 is the inauguration of Pope Leo XIV. Robert Prevost, as he was previously known as, became the successor to Pope Francis I, marking a new passage in the trend of popes from the Americas. Leo XIV is, of course, the first American pope. Number 7 is the canonization of Saint Carlo Acutis, the first millennial saint. His beatification followed the recognition of a miracle attributed to his intercession, a healing of a Brazilian child with a rare pancreatic defect. He was also known to travel around the world and blog his accounts of miracles and the Eucharist for the Catholic youth. After his passing in 2006, and almost 20 years later, quite very nearly 20 years later, he has been the first millennial saint in Catholicism. At number 6, we have the All-Moscow Cross Procession from September 7th, 2025, reaffirming Orthodox Christianity as current Russia's cultural and political backing. At number 5, we have the beginning of the construction on the Three Religions Spiritual Center in Derbent, Dagestan. The press has dubbed it, quote, the Caucasian Jerusalem. And after the terror attacks on Christians and the hostility towards Jews in this particular Russian oblast last year, Vladimir Putin has stressed national unity in Russia regardless of religious division, ensuring that the Russian armed forces stay unified in the prolonged war in Ukraine. Number 4 is the Manchester Synagogue terror attack in Manchester, England. This was another synagogue attacked on October 2nd, 2025. And number 3, in the early hours of June 13th, 2025, the IDF attacked dozens of Iranian nuclear facilities and military bases and infrastructure installations and key military commanders, putting a big blow to the Islamic Republic of Iran's big plans of regional holy war. At number 2, we have the Bondi Beach Hanukkah massacre in Australia. 2 gunmen, a father and a son, identified as Sajid and Naveed Akram, opened fire on a crowd of over 1,000 people attending the Hanukkah by Sea event. A total of 15 were shot dead, and in a miraculous act of heroism, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a local bystander, managed to disarm one of the gunmen at great personal risk and saving dozens of more lives. Astonishingly, it was reported that the first act of the local police when shots first fired was to duck for cover, all while the partygoers were dropping dead. Now at number 1, I'm faced with this dilemma. Has this following incident been at risk of becoming a religious martyrdom for millions of evangelical Americans? Or was this martyrdom the moment it happened? I'm talking, of course, about the murder of Charlie Kirk, the American right-wing activist and founder of Turning Point USA. On the day of his killing, I expressed my condolences in a previous video. And since then, his death has been transformed into this messianic-level martyrdom in a way that's rather top-down. From those in the President Trump administration to Charlie's own wife, Erica. But the way in which Erica describes her late husband's assassination is more akin to burying the proverbial lead and getting lost in the evangelical weeds.
I just know that prayer doesn't have to be this, heavy religious thing. It's just communication.
Pretty solid marketing, I guess, but rest in peace, Charlie. Well, that's about it. That's the list for 2025. Let's see what happens in 2026. I think some things are bound to occur. And if we don't find anything miraculous or horrific, let's hope not horrific. I'm Jack Existential, signing off.